Welcome to the Simp Report. And in the last video, I did mention I was going to talk about the Cosmetic Jane, so here we are. So as mentioned, in the last video, we did talk about the plain Jane and what exactly a plain Jane is, which is essentially just an average woman who's content with being average, right? Well, I feel like it's only right to talk about the opposite side of the same coin because, after all, the Cosmetic Jane and the plain Jane are essentially the same person in terms of genetics because one is wearing makeup essentially or cosmetic enhancements, whereas the other one isn't. So I say that to say, same person, but both take two completely different paths. So what is a Cosmetic Jane? Basically, she's a plain Jane, but she's chosen the path of beauty enhancement. And when I say enhancement, I'm talking about beauty techniques like cat eyes, lip liner, let's throw in fashion styling, hair extension, wigs, cosmetic procedures. I feel like I could go on and on and on, but you get the point. Oh yeah, let's also throw in beauty filters on social media. But all of that combined, she can create the illusion of being a dime, which is a woman that most people would rate anywhere from an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 in terms of physical attractiveness alone. So when she's fully done up, she can pass for a dime in photos, on dates, on social media, or wherever really, but underneath it all, she's still a plain Jane. Same genetics, just a different presentation. But before we go any further, I just want to mention once more what a dime actually is, okay? So a dime is a genetically gifted woman, meaning she basically won the genetic lottery, okay? So with no makeup, most people would agree that she's objectively attractive, especially her face. A Cosmetic Jane, on the other hand, manufactures it. So there's no amount of YouTube makeup tutorials that will change her bone structure. So a Cosmetic Jane can look like a dime when she's fully enhanced, but genetically she's average. All right, so now that that's out the way, let's compare a plain Jane to the Cosmetic Jane. All right, so the plain Jane says, I'm average and I'm okay with that. The Cosmetic Jane says, I'm average, but I can look model-esque if I try hard enough. So one accepts her position while the other overcompensates. The plain Jane doesn't spend 2 hours getting ready for a casual date, whereas the Cosmetic Jane does, because the illusion requires a lot of maintenance. If you've ever had to wait like 2 hours for a date to get ready, let's say 2+ hours, then there you go. You were dating a Cosmetic Jane. The plain Jane doesn't panic at the thought of being seen without makeup. The Cosmetic Jane, however, panics because without it, she's back to being a plain Jane. Now, I just want to walk through the delusional journey of a Cosmetic Jane. So follow me here. So step one is she starts off as a plain Jane and learns enhancements through like techniques like makeup, styling, cosmetic procedures, and through that she becomes a Cosmetic Jane. So then step two, she starts getting Chad level and Tyrone level attention when she's like fully done up, but only when she's fully done up or when she's fully made up. And the type of attention I'm talking about is like sliding into DMs from Chads and Tyrones, that kind of thing. So step three is the social media filters that she will start to use reinforces the illusion, and she sees a dime on her feed every single day, which is herself, right? And step four is she starts believing she is a dime, not just that she looks like one. The delusion is basically her saying, I must be genetically beautiful because Chads are pursuing me. All these guys are in my inbox. All of these matches on these dating apps, right? So she drinks her own Kool-Aid, right? What she forgets or ignores, whichever, is that the attention is enhanced based. It's not genetic. And social media is just amplifying it. All the filters and all the curated content, it's all reinforcing a false self-image. And it's like, I guess you could say, it becomes this validation loop where the more enhancements lead to more attention, and the more attention leads to more delusion, and more delusion leads to more enhancement. And because other cosmetic Janes are doing the same thing, it normalizes the behavior. Like I mentioned in the last video, it's like we're in this arms race of cosmetic enhancement, and everyone's doing it, so nobody thinks it's weird, but it is. The question I want to bring to the forefront is, what do you think happens when the makeup comes off, right? A reality check. Because Chad sees her without the enhancements and realizes, wait a minute, she's average. And that can cause him to lose interest. I mean, you hear all these stories of these types of women being ghosted after Chad got what he wanted. Some of those reasons are because he saw the reality of the woman he thought was a dime and decided to ghost. And I know that sounds messed up, but that's reality sometimes. And another messed up thing that happens is that she becomes jaded. She starts thinking that, oh, people only want me when I'm done up, or she recognizes that her attention level drastically changes based on her presentation. And that could lead to this like cynical thinking about dating, or all guys are assholes, and insert whatever negative thing you want to insert about guys. But really, all of this is her own making. And I don't want to say stay in your lane, but stay in your lane and you won't have all these headaches. So I guess that's the point I wanted to make here, is really just exploring what the Cosmetic Jane is. Would I say she's a bad person? I would just say misguided. I would say delusional. I would say those kind of things. She's a product of the environment that I talked about in the last video, which is the arms race of cosmetic enhancement, which pushes all these plain Janes to become cosmetic Janes. It's like becoming a casualty of the beauty industry. So I'll end it there. But in the next video, I think I'm gonna start breaking down the male side of this, which is the average Joe, and then the types of issues he has to deal with. So until then, like, subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.